So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We will be starting shortly, and currently we have a lot of people muted. We are going to maintain that throughout the duration of the webinar. There is a chat function with this webinar platform, and we encourage you to ask us questions. I believe there will be a Q&A portion of the webinar later, and we will address all of those questions at that time. So if you have questions, please submit them via the chat function. If you are not currently speaking, then you are going to want to mute the phone or the computer on your end, so that way we don't accidentally mute you on our side. And I think that's everything. I think we're good to go.
Okay. Live with everybody. Okay. All right. Well,
I also will add that this is going to be a recorded webinar that will be added onto our website later today.
Great. Thanks, Jared. So welcome, everyone, to this the webinar on the Linked Learning Field Vision. This is Hillary McLean. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Linked Learning Alliance. We really appreciate you all joining us today. And we're hosting this webinar because we wanted to provide an update about the vision for the linked learning field, our strategic plan for the next 5 years to achieve that vision, and progress that's been underway towards a number of key milestones. We talked about this strategic plan and 5-year vision at the Linked Learning Convention last February and at the Linked Learning Policy convening in the spring. And this plan is really designed to support, incentivize, and recognize high-quality linked learning, and that's the through line of this ambitious agenda. The emphasis on quality linked learning is so critical because all of the research we've seen has shown that high-quality linked learning is most impactful to student success. Now, while achieving the vision takes the work of partners across the linked learning field, and many of you partners are with us today, and we really appreciate you making time to join us on this webinar, some of the leaders in the linked learning movement are on this line with us as speakers to share updates about the progress that is being made so far. I'm going to quickly introduce the speakers we're going to hear from. David Rattray, who's the Executive Vice President for Education and Workforce Development of the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce. David is the co-chair of the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors. After that, we'll hear from Arun Ramanathan, who's the CEO of Pivot Learning Partners, and he's a board member of the Linked Learning Alliance. Ramona Bishop, who's the superintendent of Vallejo Unified City School District, will be with us shortly. She is a member of the board of directors and is also vice chair of our Council of Superintendents. David Stern, who's the founder of the College and Career Academy Support Network and a member of the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors, will be on. Then we'll next hear from Bobby Ram, who is the Managing Director at SunPower, a tremendous champion for linked learning, and he serves on the Linked Learning Council of Employers. We'll also hear from Brian King, who's the Chancellor of the Los Rios Community College District and is chair of the Linked Learning Alliance Council of Chancellors and Presidents and serves on the Linked Learning Alliance Board. Then we'll hear from Joel Vargas, who's Vice President of School and Learning Designs at Jobs for the Future, also a member of the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors, and then from Jean Fossey, who's the Executive Director and co-founder of the Center for Powerful Public Schools and is Vice Chair of the Council of Capacity Builders and also serves on the Board of Directors. Christopher Cabalden, who's the president of the Linked Learning Alliance, also is anticipating joining us. He is negotiating a challenge to his schedule at the moment, so hopefully he will be joining us as well during this webinar. Now, we did, as Jared mentioned, we do want to have the opportunity for dialogue and discussion, and some of our speakers we know will have to leave, but many of them will be with us. So we hope and encourage there will be questions throughout. Please type your questions into the chat box, and at the end of all of our speakers, we'll go back and look at those questions and attempt to answer them and engage with our participants. So now it's really my pleasure to introduce David Rattray and hand the floor over to him. He provides tremendous leadership for the linked learning field as co-chair of the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors and as chair of the Linked Learning Alliance Council of Employers. Thank you, David, for joining us.
You're welcome, and thank you, Hillary, for that introduction. I'm hearing an echo.
David, we're going to go on mute, and hopefully that will alleviate the echo.
Hi, David, are you still with us?
We may have lost David in his attempt to alleviate the echo. So since we're pausing here for David to catch up with us, why don't we go on next to Arun Ramanathan, who can give a sense of the big picture goals of the linked learning field, and then when David's back online, we'll be able to circle back to him. Arun?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. And there's no echo?
You sound great. No echo as far as we can tell.
All right. Well, thank you, Hillary, and I'll be pretty quick. The big goals for Vision 2020 are the end game, and we don't assume that they're going to be achieved just by crossing our fingers and hoping. So the strategic plan includes 7 interlocking milestone goals that are foundational to achieving our vision. And today, the folks on this webinar are going to get a chance to walk through each of the milestone goals and are thinking about what success will look like and the progress that's been made to date. As these milestone goals were formulated, there's more than 3. The Linked Learning Alliance has matured. The Alliance Board of Directors has established councils and panels that are shouldering much of the heavy lifting necessary to accomplish these goals. And we're going to hear from the leaders of these councils and panels as we walk through this milestone progress report. Since I serve as the chair of the Equity Council, I'd like to add my appreciation of this ambitious vision and the organized effort underway to prepare many more young people for college, career, and life. As many of you all know, equity is a guiding principle and one of the founding tenets of the linked learning vision and approach. And I'm pleased to work closely with my co-chair, Liz Guillen, of Public Advocate, on the council as we think about the key elements necessary to ensure that equity and that merging of college and career as the ultimate goal for students is always present as this field evolves and continues to grow. So hopefully Ramona is on now. Is that the case?
We believe so.
Let me just pause here, Ramona, before we head to you and just see if David Rattray has been able to reconnect his line. Since we're not hearing him, then let's go ahead and proceed on with Ramona, and then when David is able to rejoin us, then we will we'll loop back with him.
Okay. So
Thank
Ramona,
you so much, Arun.
I'm going to kick it over to you. Ramona's the superintendent, and she's also vice chair of the Linked Learning Alliance Council of Superintendents. And I'm going to mute myself now.
Thanks, Arun.
So, Hillary, this is David. Did you want me to go next?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, David, we would love that. I'll just thank all of our participants who are bearing with us as we're bouncing around a little bit. David, that would be fantastic. Thank you. I'm glad we can hear you now.
Okay, my apologies. I heard an echo, and I tried to correct it, and then I binged myself right out.
Not a problem.
Well, so, again, though, tell me, can you hear an echo with me now?
We cannot. You sound great.
Okay, all right. I hear my own echo, so that freaked me out. Well, so my apologies, but welcome again to all of our partners. Thank you, Hillary. We're all motivated to do this work because we know linked learning inspires students to achieve at higher levels and find their passion and become prepared for college, career, and life. And we're motivated because the education and career outcomes of our young people in our schools today are so linked to the future of California and its ability to prosper. Some of you might have seen the Georgetown University Center report that came out and said that 99% of all jobs that have been created since the Great Recession have gone to workers with some post-secondary education. 99%. It just shocked me when I saw that. In California, we know we have a long-term shortage that's projected of college-educated workers. According to PPIC, if this trend continues, we could face a shortage by the year 2030 of 1.1 million workers that need bachelor's degrees compared to the projected demand. And meanwhile, we all know there's still too many students that don't even finish high school, and what just a tragic human loss and loss to our state that is. In fact, even those that graduate, only 15% are prepared to take credit-bearing courses in college. And it's even bleaker when you look at the low-income students of color and students of color, which is, in fact, a huge portion of all the young people in our schools in California. That's why we believe in the power of linked learning, which has proven to be a more effective way to educate, engage, and connect our students in high school and in college, and help them become more motivated for their full success in life. So now that so many districts and colleges and regions are developing linked learning pathways, the state of California has invested almost $2 billion in this approach through the groundbreaking work of the Career Pathways Trust Fund that was championed by our co-chair, Darrell Steinberg, the former pro tem, and now the chair of our alliance. So it's so exciting to see this field grow exponentially. And as Hillary said, it underscores our responsibility to ensure that the field advances and that we're good shepherds of the linked learning approach. So that's why we all got together as leaders and tried to develop a vision and a strategic plan through the year 2020 that had three key goals. More underrepresented students complete high school and are college ready. More underrepresented students attain a career-ready post-secondary certificate, credential, or degree. And more underrepresented students are employed in financially sustaining and personally relevant careers. So with that, I apologize again for my sort of discontinuous intro, but I don't know if I'm turning back to you, Arun, or did you already do that?
So Arun was able to present a few moments ago, so now we would like to introduce Ramona Bishop, who is the superintendent of the Vallejo City Unified School District and is the vice chair of the Council of Superintendents.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good morning, Hillary.
Morning.
So I'm very excited to be on this call and to discuss a little bit about where we're headed. The first milestone is that by the end of 2016, at least 45 districts are demanding linked learning, are engaged in partnerships with linked learning, and have clear and compelling knowledge of how linked learning supports the students' outcomes they seek. There are many districts working on pathways, trying to get internships for students, and doing project-based learning. Our challenge has been how to determine which pathways are in fact linked learning pathways. Linked learning is defined as a pathway that integrates four core components: rigorous college preparatory academics, sequenced career technical education, work-based learning, and comprehensive supports that keep students on track. We concluded that the best way to determine if districts are demanding linked learning is to let them affirm that they are committed to high-quality linked learning by signing on to the LINK. We now have an online portal called the LINK that lets districts and school leaders register pathways that currently or are aspiring to integrate these four components. Districts can also use this portal to join a linked learning data system. By registering or joining the data system, districts publicly identify their commitment to linked learning. The LINK is a portal for districts to participate in the linked learning data system called the Linked Data Solution and the Linked Learning Quality Assurance System, called the Link Quality Recognition. There are now 27 districts that have registered on the link, including ours, by the way, the Link Quality Recognition, and 3 districts have joined the Link Data Solution. In addition, we are in conversation with a dozen more districts who are interested in signing up for the Link Data Solution. These districts and others that register on the link will be able to seek certification of their pathways when the Link Quality Assurance System is built out later this year. We are looking forward to being able to identify and incentivize quality so we can be sure that students benefit from linked learning. Our field is also committed to using data to continually get better and better to serve linked learning students. I would like to now introduce, I think, Hillary, we're out of order here, but I'll turn it back over to you, Hillary, to kind of guide the next speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you so much, Ramona, and I think we're back on track with our schedule. So now if David Stern would speak next. He's the co-founder of the College and Career Academy Support Network. He's a fellow member of the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors, and we're so glad he could join us for this call. David?
Thank you very much, Hillary. Can you hear me okay without an echo?
You sound great.
Good, thank you. As Ramona just mentioned, building knowledge along with the practice has been a key attribute of the linked learning approach. So we have a milestone goal to establish a coordinated research agenda that addresses critical field-wide needs, and specifically that at least 20 actionable research studies are underway that seek to test elements of the linked learning approach and tie practices to student outcomes. This milestone goal was relatively easy to measure, and we're very grateful and happy to announce that with the support of the James Irvine Foundation, there are currently 35 actionable research studies underway that can help the field better understand and improve the linked learning model. Research topics, some of them, they're a whole variety. They include teacher preparation for 21st century students, student supports, the impact of linked learning on students of color, and the role of counselors and principals in a linked learning setting. These studies will undoubtedly yield interesting findings which can help guide development of further questions we need to explore. As Ramona said earlier, districts now have the option to join the linked learning data system through the link, and this data will allow us to measure and study connections between specific practices and student outcomes. I'm now going to turn this webinar back to Hillary, I guess, who will guide us from here.
Great, thank you. So, David, I really appreciate what you shared. And I'm going to pause for a moment to see if Christopher Cabaldon was able to join us. He was, again, navigating a tricky schedule today. Since we don't hear his voice, then we'll go ahead and proceed, and I'm going to try to fill in for him. So we are going to talk next about the link in a little bit more detail. So our goal on this front was to develop both the data system, as you just heard, that allows the field to have an effective means of gathering practice and outcome data. So developing this system has been underway over the past year, and it connects very, very closely to our next goal, which is to create a system of quality assurance. We are working with a company called IDEO, which is helping us to build a system with established quality standards and, as I mentioned, the aligned and effective means of gathering this practice and outcome data that's used by linked learning districts to continually improve and provide high-quality linked learning experiences. So at the direction of the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors, staff is contracted with IDEO to design such a system, and we call it the LINK. And Superintendent Bishop also referred earlier to the LINK. The LINK is a portal that connects the linked learning field to two tools, the LINC Data Solution and the LINC Quality Recognition. The LINC Quality Recognition will help districts track improvements in pathway quality and student outcomes. And then the LINC Data Solution, as David said, will offer predictive analytics and performance dashboards and a centralized platform so districts can get real-time information about how their students are doing. They can compare them to students in other districts and non-pathway students. And they can really see exactly how they're doing. They can make course corrections so they can continually improve. And all of the districts that currently have offered linked learning opportunities to students or are in the process of building linked learning pathways are welcome to register those pathways and participate in the LINC Data Solution. And they can register or get in touch with us at signup.linkedlearning.org. And I'm going to show you and this is an example, a picture of the sign-in sheet when you come to the link. And I want to show you an example of what a dashboard slide would look like. These are some of the samples of the Pathway Report Card. So early next year, the LINC Quality Recognition will be piloting a system of staircasing levels of quality that will be available to recognize linked learning pathways for quality and the improvements in practice and student outcomes that pathways are making and schools are making. So as pathways registered on the LINC progress in the quality certification system, they'll be able to access tangible benefits for students that relate to what the students know and are able to do. So now to share more about the vision for those tangible benefits, I'm really pleased to introduce Bobby Ram, who's the Managing Director of SunPower Corporation and a member of the Linked Learning Alliance Council of Employers. So Bobby, turn it over to you.
The employer preferences for linked learning graduates. Does everybody hear me fine? I don't think it's to anyone's surprise about how very excited I am about the linked learning vision to increase the quantity and quality of linked learning in California. As mentioned earlier, our field vision calls for establishing very powerful incentives for participation in the new system. And we'll accomplish this by embedding employer preferences for linked learning students who demonstrate skills and knowledge that are needed in the workplace. Our goal is that by the end of 2016, at least 10 major companies have indicated a preference for linked learning students. So why does SunPower invest so much in this endeavor? SunPower believes in the promise of our next generation. Over the last several years, we've been fortunate to work with hundreds of young people, providing them tools and knowledge to explore their potential through our SunPower Horizons program. Business needs to drive change to ensure that we have the talent to run and grow our company in the future. As we do recognize that this is an ambitious goal to achieve, we will continue to stay committed to providing linked learning graduates opportunities beyond high school. NAF and the Linked Learning Alliance are committed to working together to make NAVTech certified hiring benefits preference available to non-NAF linked learning students in California who demonstrate the competency standards of our employer partners. Currently, NAF and the Linked Learning Alliance have conducted data mapping to identify 3 districts that meet pathway quality standards to launch a pilot. To further increase employer engagement in the regional level, the Linked Learning Alliance and the California Chamber of Commerce, CalChamber, received $544,425 in California Workforce Development Board's Workforce Accelerator Fund grant to launch a new California network of employer associations committed to advancing youth opportunities and reducing youth unemployment. That's good news. The Alliance and CalChamber brought together 4 local chambers of commerce to form the network. The Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, Oxnard Chamber of Commerce, Fresno Chamber of Commerce, and Sacramento Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce. This program is unique because it the first tangible recognition by the state of the role business associations must play in developing and providing meaningful workplace learning opportunities for youth. This strategy to facilitate increased employer demand for linked learning students is complemented by the field's goal to build demand for linked learning graduates among post-secondary institutions, expressed by opportunities for linked learning graduates offered by colleges and universities. So now I'm pleased to introduce Brian King, Chancellor of the Los Rios Community College District and Chair of the Council of Chancellors and Presidents. Brian?
So as Brian is coming on the line, I would just like to ask all of our speakers and participants to do stay on mute when you're not speaking. We're getting a lot of notices that the audio is garbled, and we apologize for that, but do hope that by muting, unless you're speaking, we'll be able to alleviate that.
Thank you, Hillary. So the next milestone for Vision 2020 states at least 10 post-secondary institutions will offer accelerated opportunities for linked learning graduates. And the obvious question is, what are accelerated opportunities? The accelerated opportunities for linked learning graduates are opportunities delivered at the post-secondary level. That can be either an explicit preference, like priority enrollment, or an implicit preference, which would be stronger integration of university student support services into linked learning pathways. Measuring success is crucial to our work, and the next question is, how do we measure success? And the milestone success is measured by post-secondary institutions signing agreements. That would be the most formal way to do that, or signaling a strong commitment to provide accelerated opportunities to linked learning high school pathways. To that end, we've developed 2 preliminary lists specific to California state universities and California community colleges, and they've been drafted to provide an overview of what the accelerated opportunities could look like. The Linked Learning Alliance Council of Chancellors and Presidents has worked as a key mechanism to garner feedback on accelerated opportunities documents and activate commitments from institutions. An important part of this work is sharing the documents with other institutions. At this point, we have one verbal commitment from my co-chair of the Chancellors and Presidents Council, President Tomas Morales, to launch an exploratory pilot at CSU San Bernardino to provide accelerated opportunities to linked learning students. An MOU will be signed this summer to formalize the commitment to the pilot, and details on which opportunities will be provided at the campus and the implementation process of those opportunities will be sorted out as we work through the pilot. We're continuing to engage and onboard both CSU and California community colleges and hope to have 10 campuses committed to the pilot by December of 2016. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Joel Vargas, Vice President of School and Learning Designs at Jobs for the Future and fellow board member of the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors. Joel?
Thank you, Brian. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me.
You sound great, Joel.
Great, thanks. So thanks again. As you've heard, we really have an exciting vision for creating an interlocking system of incentives for quality implementation of linked learning. But to get there, we also need to provide a system that helps to encourage and support districts, post-secondary institutions, workforce systems, and employers to adopt and expand linked learning's powerful strategies. And that's why we established a field vision goal of selecting at least 3 exemplar regions that will test a regional model to achieve improved student outcomes and accelerate scale by forming networks of partners from across K-12, higher education, and workforce and industry who work together to increase the number of and demand for linked learning graduates. There was great interest from regions, and ultimately 4 were identified to test this approach, what we call the linked learning regional hubs of excellence. The regions are the East Bay, Tulare Kings, Long Beach, and San Bernardino. So to date, the central set of partners who are activating and aligning each of these regional networks, playing what we call the anchor role, have been shaping and implementing structures, processes, communications, and plans for programming. To strengthen regional leadership, develop partnerships, and build systems that promote the four core components of linked learning that Ramona described earlier and that you all know well. I also want to mention that the support collectively provided by our partnering capacity building organizations has been invaluable for the regions that are working to establish what it means to be a linked learning hub of excellence. And on that note, I'm very pleased now to introduce Jean Fossey, who is the Executive Director of the Center for Powerful Public Schools and is Vice Chair of the Linked Learning Alliance Council of Capacity Builders and Support Providers. Jean?
We're attempting to get Jean's audio open, so bear with us one moment. Okay, we're going to open the mute line for all so we can capture Jean. So be warned, if you are not a speaker, we ask that you use your personal line to mute. Jean, hopefully we'll be able to hear you in a moment. Jean, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Great.
So we're just going to once again remind everybody, if you are not Jean, please mute your phone on your side or mute your computer on your side. We greatly appreciate it.
Hey, and Hillary and Linked Learning Alliance, it might be helpful if you mute your line while Jean's speaking because the speakers are hearing an echo.
Yeah, me too. Then going on mute and we'll continue, but thank you.
We're hearing a lot of static from my end, but hopefully it's clearing up themselves. Good morning, everyone. And I'm going to talk about the goal of there is an experienced and coordinated cadre of capacity building support providers that are meeting the implementation needs of the growing number of districts, post-secondary institutions, and regions around the state that are starting or are in the progress of implementing linked learning. And there's been an intensive effort to meet this milestone goal over the last 9 months through a working group that's been mapping areas of need and strength among the capacity builder community. I'd like to acknowledge the working group members that have been involved in this effort and have committed to realizing this field goal. They include ConnectEd, NAF, Jobs for the Future, the College and Career Academy Support Network, Pivot Learning Partners, and the Career Ladders Project. And over these 9 months, we've been considering the right mix of practices and processes that will help capacity builder organizations collaborate together or work side by side to benefit the growing number of districts building linked learning pathways. We've also established a set of norms to guide how we interact and are committed to testing our commitment to the intentional coordination in 3 regions. So we're looking at Oakland, Sacramento, and Los Angeles to just test how we better collaborate to meet the goals of our milestones, which would be to expand and improve linked learning outcomes for students and greatly to expand linked learning opportunities for many more young people across the state. Now I'd like to turn this back over to Hillary. Thank you so much.
The challenging audio. We you can tell, getting these milestone goals completed takes a great deal of collaboration, and apparently getting a conference call and webinar coordinated is also a complex task, but we will continue to make progress to perfect that, and the field, of course, is continuing to make progress towards the realization of these very ambitious goals for the linked learning field. Now, of course, they're only going to be achieved if these goals are really embraced and co-owned across the linked learning field, and that collectively we're working together to accomplish them, and that we acknowledge that it's going to take a collective effort. We're going to continue to talk about these milestones. They're all listed here. You can see how they interlock and are critical to each other. We're going to keep talking about them in the coming months and keep, of course, working hard on each of the individual initiatives and, again, making the connections across the milestones throughout the year. And then we'll continue to recalibrate our goal towards that long 5-year plan, the big goals that we have each year, and we'll fine-tune our milestone goals that we're, as a field, working together to reach. Now, to keep getting updates about the progress in the coming months and to be looking for opportunities to participate towards achieving them, we hope that you'll stay in touch. You can do so by visiting the Linked Learning website, which is linkedlearning.org. You can sign up to get the newsletter, alerts, and other updates that we share by clicking on the bottom of the homepage of the linkedlearning.org. We also hope that you'll plan to join us and others in the linked learning field at the Linked Learning Convention, which is an annual event that brings people all across the country together who are interested in the linked learning movement. It's going to take place January 23rd, 24th, and 25th in January 2017. We'll be meeting this year in Oakland at the Oakland Marriott City Center, and we'll be sending out updates about how to register, how to propose a professional learning session, and details about all of the networking opportunities that we'll have. It's going to be a great time to get together and collaborate and get, again, updates on the progress of our field. So we also, of course, encourage those who are in a district to sign up your pathways. Again, you can go to signup.linkedlearning.org. We want pathways that are currently offering linked learning or are aspiring to do so to register those pathways on the link, and also that's the place that you can go and indicate your intention to participate in the data system, the linked data solutions. So now we would love to take some questions. We'll look through the comments in the chat. We know many of them were about the funky audio, which we again apologize for. But we'll look for questions there and try to take them one by one. And for those of you who are on the line and able to help field some of these, we encourage you chiming in. So looking for questions and feedback, not about the echo. I think I saw one about the Georgetown report. The Georgetown report that was talking about the number of jobs lost, we will have a link to that in the materials that we send as follow-up. And we will also link to it on the Linked Learning homepage, or the Linked Learning Alliance website. Let's see, the other question was, how will college and career be defined using the state's new rubric or otherwise? So that is kind of a complex question around, I think it had two parts. There's a policy part, and David Rattray, if you are still with us, I don't know if you're available to take a stab at that. I'm thinking he had to sign off. So on the policy side, of course, the Linked Learning Alliance is working in partnership with many of the organizations that are part of the linked learning field to help the State Board of Education perfect the way and improve the way we measure college and career readiness. In terms of our own internal field accountability system for incentivizing quality, I'm going to ask my colleague, Alex Tagavian, to share how the aspects of quality are being developed that will be incorporated in the LINC quality assurance.
Yeah, thank you, Hillary. We have a variety of experts, practitioners, and leaders from the field who are engaged in a multi-sided process to address the question of quality and the overarching architecture of our certification experience. So we have had the great benefit of enlisting many folks with deep experience in this lane to help us inform how we should approach this, how we should do it in a staircase fashion, as Hillary was mentioning earlier, where with each level and each step in the progression toward higher and higher levels of quality, that we can be non-prescriptive about it, where we can allow for the variance of different pathway implementations and instances to report how they're addressing work-based learning, how they're addressing college readiness, and so forth across the 4 pillars of linked learning. So we will be providing you with forthcoming information as those developments become more solidified, and they are informing the technological experience as we move ahead with IDEO.
Thanks, Alex. So looking here for other questions that have come through. Let's see. There was a question about the support system from Stuart asking about, seems to be mainly large research firms, not local community-based organizations. Is there local support? So that is a great question. Jean, are you with us? If you are, it would be great to hear your perspective about how the field is providing support.
Sure. So I think when we've looked at working together, we've looked at the large districts that I described to you, but also how we could best support more localized work at districts, and that may be smaller and more diversely distributed across the state. So I think that between all of us, we've done a lot of mapping. We have a list of districts across the state, so we've seen who's supporting who at this point in time. But I would suggest if there is a particular interest of a district or a pathway who may be on this call, that they contact the Linked Learning Alliance and checking with them to see who might be able to support them in their field area. So I hope I've answered the question, but please feel free to contact me or the Alliance for any follow-up.
Thank you, Jean. We had another question about whether a CPA, a California Partnership Academy, should be registered on the link. And the short answer is yes, but for a longer explanation, I'm going to ask Alex to chime in.
Sure. It will be much longer, but affirming Hillary's response, yes, we want to invite all forms of pathways and academies to enter into our link system, and specifically the data environment that we're building is flexible and dynamic, and one that can consume and provide analytics across a variety of different pathways. So certainly California Partnership Academies would be appropriate to join in the system.
That's right. And the only real test I think a pathway should consider is, are those 4 components of linked learning present? The rigorous academics that prepare students for post-secondary opportunities, college, the work-based learning, the sequence career technical education, and the supports for students. And if those 4 integrated components are there, then we consider you part of the linked learning family, and we would like you to affirm that you want to be considered part of the linked learning field by registering on the link. All right, looking for another question. Laura Schmidt shared, have we heard of redefining READY initiative by AASA? I have not, but she sent us a link, so we'll share that out in the feedback that we share. Another question came in, how is the link quality recognition and data system aligned with CalPass Plus? CCPT student momentum points, reporting requirements, CTIG, the CT Incentive Grant Program, lots of layering initiatives that are related to the linked learning movement and the career and college readiness indicators that are under consideration for adoption by the state board. So again, Alex, you want to share how the quality assurance system through the LINC relates to these many programs and policy developments in the larger state environment?
So one of our design principles with the data solution is that we want to eliminate redundancies in reporting requirements for school districts and even post-secondary partners who want to participate. So we have been sensitive to the fact that there are other systems out there that provide some of the functionality that we've described, and we want to build out ways in which those systems, like CalPAS Plus and others, can, in as turnkey as fashion as possible, provide data sharing into our data environment. One distinguishing feature, though, that we are aiming for in the design is that it's going to be specific for pathways. And so within the LINC, there will be data elements that are that can differentiate and identify pathways, that include work-based learning as part of the data set. And then another key feature that we're happy to share is that we've also partnered with the core districts and all of their social-emotional learning data that is part of that data environment. So that is an optional addition that can be part of our system so that the users can capture the full array of a pathway experience.
Thank you, Alex. Another question that came from John Snavely, the recently retired superintendent of Porterville Unified and a great LINC learning leader, was asking about the 10 institutions of higher education that we have as a goal to provide some sort of accelerated opportunity for LINC learning students. And the question was, have we identified those 10 potential sites, or are we still looking for others? I would love to invite Brian King, if he's still with us, to respond to John Snavely's question. Brian, are you with us still?
I'm still here, Hillary, but I didn't catch the last part of the question. I'm sorry.
Got it. The question was, are the 10 sites, post-secondary sites that would offer some sort of accelerated opportunity for LINC learning students, have they been identified yet? Are we looking for more than 10 if that was a possibility?
Sure. Got it.
How would an institution of higher education that's interested get tied into this?
10 is the baseline goal, so obviously more would be welcome. The process to get engaged, probably as good a way would be to just shoot me an email, and my email is pretty easy. It's kingb, K-I-N-G-B, @losrios.edu. We'd be happy to get other colleges and universities involved for sure.
Thank you so much, Brian. Next question we got was, what would a certified pathway look like? How would a pathway know if they're on the right track? So again, I'll ask Alex to share how a pathway might have a sense now before our certification system has launched that they're on the right track.
So we are I would say, we've completed phase 1 of 3 in terms of the certification design, and we are very much anchoring the design in the way that question is posed. Thinking about what does that baseline look like for initial certification, and then how can we create the right incremental steps forward for quality improvement across the 4 LINC learning domains. So the short answer is we are in process and will be launching the minimum viable product of the LINC this coming January. That will be including the early phases of the certification experience. And the architecture is going to have likely 5 different levels of certification, each step in progress showing higher and higher levels of quality. So stay tuned. Great question, but that certainly is at the heart of our thinking in collaboration with all the partners that I had mentioned earlier.
Great, thanks, Alex. And to add on to what Alex said, if a district is at any point wanted to get assistance to help ensure that they are on the right track and are getting additional coaching and support, there are partners, as Jean mentioned, that are in the capacity builder space. That would include ConnectEd, the NAF, the Center for Powerful Public Schools, Pivot, the College and Career Academy Support Network. All of those organizations have a lot of expertise in linked learning and can help schools and districts really help perfect their practice and encourage and help support quality implementation of linked learning. So that's another resource for the field. And that relates to the next question that we got, which is how will the new certification process actually, let me back up. The question was, how can CBOs, community-based organizations that work with districts to provide linked learning, connect with the link? And you can actually get in touch with us. Go to signup.linkedlearning.org, and there are different options for you to indicate that you're interested. Get in touch with us. We want to hear from you. We're happy to have keep you in the loop on how the development of the system is going, and I definitely believe that it's going to take a collective effort to help support high-quality linked learning across the state, so community-based organizations are a really important piece of that puzzle. Let's see. Another question we got was, how will the new certification process differ from the current ConnectEd certification process? I'm going to take that out.
Yeah, we are wanting to launch the system in a way that is not creating duplicative efforts, like I mentioned earlier, where if you are a district that has already gone through an existing certification process, we are looking for ways to establish reciprocity within our system and features within the link that can acknowledge those existing certifications. So part of the work going forward that we are doing in concert with our capacity building partners like ConnectEd and others is looking to design how will the reciprocity agreements work across the system. How can we lower the burden on our district partners who have already gone through those processes and so forth? So this is very much a part of the platform build and some of the work that's happening within our governance.
Great. Thanks, Alex. Another question we got was, what's the difference between math classes under linked learning, the linked learning umbrella, and traditional math classes? So I'd love to kick that over to Jean Fossey, who's worked with a number of districts that are implementing linked learning pathways. Jean, if you're with us still, I'd love to hear your take on how what's the linked learning difference in a math example?
Sorry, I was just unmuting.
No, not a problem.
I would say the difference is that there is an integration between what the students are learning in math and whatever the theme of their pathway is. So, for example, if you're in an engineering pathway, there's a lot of math involved in that. So the teachers that might be doing, the teachers who's doing engineering classes would collaborate with math teachers to say what kind of tools and learning in math do our students need to know in order to be successful engineers. So it's really the idea of connecting across subject areas, core curriculum that makes sense for what students will need to know at the to when they're going out to college or that particular industry career.
Thank you so much, Jean. We got another question about certification, and the question was posed like this. What gap was identified that led the linked learning field to want to replace ConnectEd certification, ConnectEd-led certification. And actually, just joining us right now is Christopher Cavalden, the president of the Link Learning Alliance. I'm so delighted he was able to join us. He's a tremendous leader on behalf of the Link Learning movement, and thrilled he could make it here for this question. So, Christopher.
Yeah, thanks so much, Hillary. As Hillary hinted, the certification system that we've used in the Link Learning field has been a collaborative effort by a group of technical assistance providers or capacity builders, advocacy organizations, and others, including ConnectEd, NAF, the College and Career Academy Support Network, EdTrust West, and the National Career Academy Coalition, for which ConnectEd's provided the administrative leadership for that process. And it was very closely tied to the development of the district initiative and the models and the approaches within Link Learning. The district initiative was incubating, testing, and improving. As we've looked over the last couple of years, particularly with all the state investments, part of the fundamental concept behind our field vision for the future is a dramatic scale, increase in scale, and trying to create systems like the Link in a different approach to overall certification that will allow potentially thousands of pathways to get certified in a way that minimizes their processing and transaction cost at the site level and at the district level, while still providing some coherence to the field and essential verification of quality and of equity. And so the Link system builds off of the lessons of that Link Learning certification system from that has existed for the last several years, learns our best lessons about what we know about practice, and then attempts to use the power of technology and the platform in order to deliver that at scale. So if you participated in the prior certification process, you'll be very familiar with the concepts and the elements and the ideas embedded within the Link, but it also opens up the field in a much broader way and recognizes the diversity of models and other approaches within the broader field of Link Learning that have been spurred in large measure because of the changes in state and federal accountability policies and the significant investments from the Career Pathways Trust and the CTE incentive grant.
Thank you, Christopher. Another question came in, I think, in response to the fabulous sharing that Jean just did about what makes a math class Link Learning, what's the Link Learning difference. So someone asked for her email address or contact info. You can get in touch with Jean through the Center for Powerful Public Schools website. They have the best web address ever. It's powerfuled.org, POWERFULED.org. And we'll include emails for our speakers in our follow-up communication out. Let's see here. I think that has covered all of the questions that have come in. We'll pause for just a second in case there is any last question that someone's dying to get in. If we don't get it in the next 30 seconds, I think we've reached our time. So I really want to take this opportunity to thank all of the speakers who have worked so diligently with many partners on the progress that we're making towards the field vision and the critical interlocking milestone goals that are necessary to help us achieve that vision. Your work is so valuable to the field. What you shared today was really appreciated. And to everyone who tuned in, and we know that you tuned in because you care deeply about students, you're interested in seeing Link Learning being made available to many more students. We thank you for your efforts and for joining us today. We hope you'll stay in touch and keep the effort going. We look forward to seeing you at the Link Learning Convention in just about 6 months. And with that, we'll sign off, and we will get a follow-up communication out a little bit later today with a link to the webinar, the details that we shared in response to the questions. So we will sign off now, and thank you very much. Have a great weekend.